One of the most frequently asked questions that I've gotten in the last year is how do you start doing a ketogenic style diet for polycystic kidney disease? What is your first steps? Should you go into it cold turkey where you completely eliminate everything and kind of pretty much do a zap, a shock to your system? Should you slowly, gradually start removing a lot of feel-good foods, all the ice creams, sodas, high sugary products that you may be consuming? Or should you kind of really do it over the course of maybe a couple weeks or a couple months, kind of really slowly dive into it? To be honest, I don't really have an answer to that because a lot of people ask me that all the time. Hey, what should I do? And I throw the question right back at people. See what works for you. What worked for me last year was to do a shell shock to my system, but it caused, I want to say, a lot of despair because for 2 weeks I experienced a tremendous amount of sugar withdrawals. I also did a detox of caffeine. I did an alcohol detox. So I was experiencing carb detox, sugar detox, caffeine detox. I had migraines, and I honestly felt like poo for about 2 weeks. Once those 2 weeks were over, I felt amazing. I started adding back in some black coffee with some heavy cream. Actually, I was using coconut milk back last year. Now I primarily do heavy cream or butter. But the point is that it really depends. I really believe what you're comfortable doing and what works for you. Obviously, if you're starting this and you're in a bad situation, like your kidney function is all the way down here, it might be wise to pretty much zap your system and completely get rid of anything that's causing health problems. So I'm going to try to keep this video relatively short, 10 to 15 minutes. This case study right here is down in the description of this video. I'll also leave it as a pinned comment to this video as well. I've referred back to this case study so many times now. Trigger warning: how modern diet, lifestyle, and environment pull the trigger on autoimmune dominant polycystic kidney disease progression. Nickname or long-term for ADPKD. And this case study was produced by Dr. Thomas Wimes, Dr. Jacob Torres, and Dr. Messing. And also, I'm not going to try to pronounce Nicholas's last name, but I have a playlist also in the description as well. Go into this playlist very quickly. This is going to be in the pinned comment also. On my other channel, I did a variety of different interviews with Dr. Wimes and various other doctors and researchers. So if you want more information, I would definitely check out this content. Not to mention, I do have a great video here on how to do a homemade pumpkin coffee, a keto version. I really should do a updated one now because it's been close to about a year and I actually have better products to use. But getting back to this study right here, something I really want to talk about is really how to really start or really begin. Let's say you were to do the slow, gradual, step in. Let's say hypothetically that you eat sugary yogurt, sugary cereal, some bread in the morning with some jam. You may have eggs and bacon maybe once or twice a week, but the majority of your first meal every day is primarily sugar dominated. What I did for 2.5 years was prioritize sugar in the morning. I was eating sugary yogurt. To be honest, I don't even really know if it is even yogurt. Without naming any companies, it was basically pretty much yogurt in a tiny glass jar. If you are familiar in the yogurt world, you can probably look this up and take a gander at what type of yogurt I was eating. But the yogurt had about 50 grams of sugar, practically no protein, practically no fat, no fiber. So no protein, no fiber, no fat. If you do not have those three things and you eat sugar and carbs, the blood sugar spike that you're going to produce is going to be a lot greater, which has been proven to fuel the progression of these cysts on your kidneys. So as you see here, a picture of pretty much ultra processed foods high in sugar, sodium, phosphate, cereal, donuts. We got some soda, and well, there's not a company logo, but it's pretty much French fries. Go figure. So to really talk about that per se, I truly believe that if you are going to really do this slowly, it should be your first meal of the day that is really taken into consideration. I've spoken to a lot of people that have said, hey, I'm going to start doing this, but I'm going to focus more so on like my afternoon and on my evening rather than my first meal. Why is your first meal so important? Because what ends up happening is if you go ahead and spike your blood sugar first thing in the morning, your pancreas is going to release insulin to bring down your blood sugar. But the problem is that your insulin remains high all throughout the day. That's a big problem, especially with polycystic kidney disease. So if you can go ahead and focus on your first meal, not spiking your blood sugar, that will do you tremendous amount of greatness, especially when moving in to a low-carb lifestyle, whether you are doing a standard, healthy, ketogenic diet or whether you're moving into a carnivore diet. But if you are going to be doing it slow and start eliminating stuff over like a couple weeks because maybe you don't want to feel kind of like poo in a way, there's really no way to sugarcoat it. If you completely zap your system, you're gonna be feeling fatigued. You're gonna be feeling lethargic. You're gonna have maybe some mood swings, irritability. You're gonna be detoxing crap from your body. In my personal opinion, if I could go back in time a year and a half ago, I would do the same thing. A complete detox of everything. I went from eating sugary yogurt, and sugary bread, sugary jam, some applesauce sometimes I'd have in the morning. An apple a day keeps the doctor away, right? No, you're gonna learn on this channel that an apple a day, it does not keep the doctor away. An avocado a day, yes, an avocado a day will keep a doctor away. Why is that, really quick? Because an apple has no protein, no fat. All it has is sugar and carbs. It's very sweet and bitter, and it will cause sugar addiction. An avocado has very little to no carbs, has a lot of fat and fiber. Yeah, it doesn't have protein, but hey, fiber, fat suppresses blood sugar spike. So that's really, really good. Now, in the morning, like I said, I was drinking sugary coffee. So I was consuming about 150 grams of sugar first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Large sugar spike, a lot of insulin being released. I didn't even know, probably in the hundreds my blood sugar was getting to. But I changed my first meal to a ketogenic meal. I went back to having bacon and eggs in the morning. Couple eggs, couple pieces of bacon, couple tablespoons of butter. If you're more so in the ketogenic area, you can do avocado oil. Just make sure it's organic and make sure it comes in a glass jar, or a glass bottle. If you are going to be using olive oil, make sure it is, organic extra virgin olive oil. I'll talk more about that, and to be honest, I probably will talk about that in my next video, but if you are going to be doing this slowly, focus on your first meal as a priority, because once you go ahead and stop eating your last meal, whether it might be 5 p.m., 6 p.m., maybe 7 p.m., and then go ahead and do a good fast. Don't snack near when you're eating, sleeping and stuff. Have a large last meal, a large dinner, and stop eating. Don't snack before your bedtime. Don't even focus really on like fasting, just focus on your first meal. So if you are consuming cereal in the morning, look at a substitute. If you're consuming yogurt in the morning that is high in sugar, like I was, look at a substitute. Plain, organic, Greek yogurt. Focus on the label. Look on how much. Don't worry about the calories. I eat thousands of calories per day. It's hard for me to put on weight. And as you consider doing this, you're going to see the same too. But focus on the sugar and carbs. Going from sugary yogurt to plain Greek yogurt, and then if you want some like berries, you take some organic blueberries, organic strawberries, mash it on up in the yogurt. You pretty much have a high protein, high fat meal, rather than just all like pretty much it's just factory made sugary yogurt. And unfortunately, the yogurt here in America, it's very much sugary yogurt because that's just how it is. Same thing with cereal. It's just all cereal. So once again, if you are considering doing this, which I highly suggest anyone with polycystic kidney disease gives this a try, focus on your first meal as your first step. Focus on replacing the cereal in the morning with something that you really like and enjoy. It could be an avocado. It could be some sour cream. Avocado and sour cream. Avocado and mayonnaise is amazing. Avocado and some hard-boiled eggs. Or just some sunny side up eggs and some avocado. Even steamed veggies. Non-starchy veggies. Cauliflower. Broccoli in the morning. I'm a carnivore, but I'll go ahead and even say that some steamed veggies first thing in the morning is very better than having cereal, donuts, sugary coffee, sodas, or anything like that. Orange juice is not the best. You can deep dive into it. Orange juice products here in America are very processed. There's a lot of just additives in there. I got to make more videos on that. But to really keep this under 15 minutes, because that's what my goal is, to make these short little pithy videos. If you are going to be starting this, there's a couple ways. One, you can do cold turkey like me. You got to be tough and you got to stick with it. It's about 2 weeks of hell, but you're going to prevail. Or you can slowly, gradually change each meal. You can change your breakfast, and then a couple weeks later, or maybe a couple days later, you can change your lunch, and then you can change your dinner, or you can do things a little slower. But you should really transition into this lifestyle if you're going to be doing it within a couple weeks. The maximum should be 1 month, in my opinion. And the way you should start it is by looking at your first meal. You got to focus on keeping your blood sugar down after eating. You got to focus on keeping your insulin down, and you're going to see results. I can't promise anything, but this has worked for me and has reversed my kidneys in size and along with cysts. And I really hope it does the same for anyone that's watching this video and suffering with polycystic kidney disease. As always, fact check me, look at these articles, these case studies, watch some of my interviews that I did with researchers and other people as well. All the links are down below, and stay well, and I'll see you on the next one.